All right, let's do it. Another 5-minute post-game show, courtesy of Post-Game Pints, Campbell and Gallo. With you, follow us on Twitter, Sean R. Campbell, Mitch Y. Gallo, Post-Game Pints. Look, let's dive right into this. This is a 5-minute post-game show. Habs lost 5-0. They're 0-4. Mitch, what is happening?
Well, I mean, that's Campbell. 5 minutes isn't enough to explain what's happening.
No, but we can do it. This is what we do, and we can do it. Let's go.
I think in the shortest form, I can say that the Canadians are disconnected right now. The chemistry isn't there. There's no cohesion among teammates, and they seem to be fragile. So as soon as they allow the first goal of the game, and now it's 3 games in a row that they get scored on first, they're not able to bring it back in. They're not able to get back on the same page. And then 1 goal becomes 2, becomes 3, and then you have a big mountain to climb. You know, you look at the game against the Rangers, they didn't let it get out of hand, but because they were chasing, as soon as they went 1-1, it became 2-1, and then obviously you get the empty netter that goes in. It's a couple really bad performances early, and there's not a lot of inspired play right now, but we're still very early in the season, and I think a lot of players are just finding their way. And once somebody breaks the ice, the floodgates are going to open. I still feel that way. I feel strongly about it, but I know right now it's hard to watch.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm with you on everything you just said, and inspired play. So I saw they were down 2-0, and you and I were both in the building tonight at the Bell Center. Brendan Gallagher, you could tell he wanted to do something. That shift, he ran around, and then Hoffman knocks over Cogliano, and then he drops a glove with Erik Karlsson. He just wanted to give some shots. He didn't care who was in front of him. He just wanted to do something for his team, and he thought that maybe that would spark, even though the Canadians killed off that penalty. But there was still nothing after that. Once Gallagher goes through that, you want something to be, coming from another source. And there's just nothing happening. And we can look at Gallagher and Anderson, who was finishing checks. And then in the second and third, there's nothing going for anybody. But Mitch, I'm going to tell you this. I'm looking at Caulfield. He is struggling early on. He can't even handle the puck. He's stick handling. He loses it. He gets a shot. He had his 1 good shot that went off the crossbar in the third period. And even if he scored, it would have been meaningless, but it would have been meaningful to him. And then Suzuki and Toffoli, there's nothing going. And those 3 players are so key to the Canadian success. There's nothing going for them right now.
No, there isn't. With Caulfield, I'm starting to see some signs. He did rip that shot off the crossbar. So that was a positive. I thought the third period he was a little bit better. You're right. It's a couple times now in the last couple games where he's trying to go too quickly, I think, for his hands, and the puck has slipped away. Yeah. Here's what I'll suggest for Suzuki and Caulfield. I think Caulfield is now seeing a lot of the other team's best defenders. So I would move him away from Suzuki. And you talked about Gallagher being one of the only players to show inspiration in his game.
Heart.
I would put him with Suzuki. And I think that a small thing like that could maybe shift the tide. And it's not even, I'd sit down with Caulfield and tell him it's not necessarily a demotion. I realize you're no longer playing with the best center of the team, but you're still going to get the same power play time. And this is a way to get you free, to get you out there against players that aren't as good as some of the guys you're matching up with right now, because it's been a tough go here to start the season. And that's how I would handle the Caulfield situation, because you're right. The Canadians, with all the players that aren't here from a year ago, needed good starts from Suzuki, Caulfield, and even Romanov on the blue line, Sean. The 3 youngsters haven't taken that step, at least so far, that people were hoping and expecting them to take.
And let's bring it back to what you spoke about earlier. 4 games in, they're 0-4. Everybody can scream, the sky is falling. We've seen it, I believe, was it in the mid-90s? They started 5 games in, and they fired their coach and GM. And I know that's what people...
94, 95, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that that is what people are thinking about right now. I'm with you. I preach patience with this team. I still think there's a lot of good with this team. But they have to show something soon amongst themselves, not to the fans, not to the media, amongst themselves, that they have something left in the tank. We got 10 seconds. Just wrap it up, Mitch.
Yeah, well, it's all about confidence, Sean. And sometimes all it takes is one moment or one goal or one game, and the tide can turn when it comes to confidence.
That's it for the 5-minute post-game show, courtesy of Post Game Pints. Thanks for checking in with us. We're going to be here all season long. We got a whole bunch of stuff planned for you. And Mitch, what does everybody need to do?
Don't forget to click, listen, subscribe, and even comment. Tell us, what do you think is wrong with the Canadians?
Post Game Pints for a reason.